In Californians, it comes as Southern California's hospital ICU capacity has now dropped below 15%.
Southern California's ICU capacity, which includes us here in Riverside County, now stands at 10.3%. 135 people in the county are currently in the ICU. The low bed count has triggered the stay-at-home orders, which Governor Newsom warned could happen last week. The new stay-at-home order went into effect at midnight.
Bars, wineries, nail salons, hair salons, barbershops, and other personal care services, they've all been directed to close. Private gatherings of any size also are prohibited. Restaurants are now limited to takeout and delivery options only.
And retail stores now are allowed to operate at 20% capacity with entrance metering. Places of worship are only allowed to hold outdoor services or activities. Now, the region will stay under these orders for at least 3 weeks. Then state health authorities will evaluate ICU capacity and transmission rates to project at least 4 weeks into the future to determine if the stay-at-home order can be lifted.
Here we are just 3 weeks before Christmas. So many Coachella Valley businesses are making some of those hard but required changes this morning. News Channel 3's Madison Weil is live along El Paseo in Palm Desert with more on this latest stay-at-home order and how it's going to impact them. Madison.
Jeff, Angela, good morning. As you said, we only have about 10% of our ICU beds available across Southern California. So many businesses are having to close up once again. We're on El Paseo this morning. Many of these shops here would be getting ready for a busy week of work ahead of the holidays. This is tough news to hear with Christmas just weeks away. After a very difficult year, we know many businesses are just barely hanging on. Our team spoke with a few personal care businesses here on El Paseo. This isn't the first time they've been shut down this year. They said they had to spend the weekend making cancellations with clients.
Basically, I called them one-on-one, explained to them the situation, which they already know, and unfortunately, I'll have to rebook them after the next 3-week period. Hopefully, it won't go past that.
That salon owner added his business has been able to survive this year just based on loyal clientele. They've worked hard to build up over 15 years. But of course, another shutdown, even just for 3 weeks, is going to be incredibly challenging for them. The shutdown is for 3 weeks, as we've mentioned, and they're going to reassess in 3 weeks our local health metrics. Live in Palm Desert this morning, Madison Weil, News Channel 3.
Okay, and 3 weeks is just the start. It could be longer. Nobody really knows. That's why it's important we try to flatten that curve right now. Thanks, Madison.
And staying in Palm Desert, the Living Desert Zoo and Gardens is now temporarily closed due to the governor's recent stay-at-home mandate. The zoo's president and CEO says animal care will continue during this closure. If you have a ticket, though, for either daytime use or wild lights in the next 3 weeks, the zoo will contact you to reschedule those reservations, or you can opt for a refund. If you have a membership to the park, it will be extended during this closure. Now, the zoo says it will keep up with digital activities on its social media platform, so you can keep an eye on the animals.
The Riverside County Fairgrounds in Indio remains prepared to house coronavirus patients if local hospitals might run out of space. That according to Riverside County's Public Information Officer, Brooke Federico. She says beds and all the necessary equipment to treat less seriously ill patients are still in place at the Federal Medical Station. The site was set up shortly after the pandemic began. Federico says that at this point, the county does not have a specific time for when the station might need to open. But if it does, Federico says all the county has to do is staff it.
This is one piece of an overall larger surge plan. So we have within our hospital facilities, which we have 17 acute care facilities in Riverside County, they have internal surge plans to be able to expand to different areas of the hospital that they would be able to place beds and treat patients.
Now, Federico there says the site is set up. It's able to serve patients in eastern Riverside County. A similar 125-bed site is also set up at the old Sears building in Riverside. There are no plans to open either site yet.